There's definitely a lot to like, when we're looking at Brandon Dorlus. I do think the biggest reason why he fell to the fourth round is just because he doesn't have a true position, man. Welcome back to another episode of Sip and Scout. My name is Marquise Cheney, and on today's show, we're going to be taking a trip to Eugene, Oregon to look at Brandon Dorlus. This one was brought to us by popular demand. On our last episode, we went to the University of Washington. We looked at Brethren Trice. And at the end of that one, y'all just said, hey, do Brandon Dorlus, do Brandon Dorlus. So that was only right, man. We took this trip. We looked at the fourth round pick. We looked at why he fell to us. Should he have fell to us? Am I concerned? Am I excited? I think we'll get a lot of these answers by the end of this video. So this is, again, a fun one to do, but to be honest, this is a tough one. And I feel like it's kind of why he fell to the fourth round is because Brandon Dorlus doesn't really have a true position, if you ask me. He played defensive tackle most of his career at Oregon, but this past season he played a lot more defensive end, mainly due to injuries, but it's kind of like a gift and a curse, right? He showed versatility, but then he also left us all like, well, how does this translate to the NFL? So, like I said, as excited as I am to do Brandon Dorlus' tape, I'm actually a little scared. Um, but nah, this should be a fun one. As you see at the top right, I say Brandon Dorlus possesses a strong combination of strength and athleticism, which should translate to the NFL and give him significant potential as a three-down lineman. I say he just disrupts plays, man. He just disrupts plays. And that's one thing we'll see on today's show. For today's slate, we're going back to the University of Washington. Yes, we're taking another trip out there. We're going to keep an eye on Michael Penix a little bit. We're going to do a little sipping and scouting against Michael Penix. But mainly, we want to see Brandon Dorlus against two of the top tackles in the Pac-12. This left tackle that you see here, who he's matched up with, was named the best tackle in the Pac-12. Troy was picked in the first round by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to say it was pick 20. And then here on the right side, we have Roger, number 73, was also ranked as one of the best tackles in the Pac-12. And he actually went in the second round to the Baltimore Ravens. So, again, when I watch tape, I want to see my guys go against their best competition. And I feel like there's just no better matchup, man. And like I said, you get to keep an eye on Michael Penix too. So without further ado, we're going to jump into this tape. Or we talk about some of his strengths and weaknesses as they pop up. But we're talking about a 23-year-old tweener. He's stuck in between edge and defensive tackle. He's 6'3". He listed at 283 at the combine. And the Falcons got him in the fourth round. So right here, as we see, he's going against the best tackle in the Pac-12. Got a good push, got good momentum, and I think a lot of that was due to his length. So that's one of his strengths. As we see, he extends, he converts that speed into power. He gets a good push and, forces the ball out quick. Michael Penix is looking right at this, so I know he felt him. He felt his presence. On this play, we see him going against the right tackle. And on that play, we see the explosion. We see the extension. He pushes him back into the quarterback, and then he just makes a decision from there. This is definitely something that should excite you as a pass rusher. He's quick. He's strong. These are things that, create problems for offensive linemen. I just think people, when they start to project the NFL tackles, it's like, well, can he do this? Is he strong enough to push, these tackles in the NFL? And I think that's when people are like, ugh. And then same thing for him against guards. Is he strong enough truly to, just bull rush past guards? And I think he can match up well against guards. If I'm a defensive coordinator, that's one thing I'm gonna want to do with him is try to get him one-on-one versus guards. And I think we'll see here soon. When he's matched up against a guard, that is when he puts himself and his team in the best position possible. A lot of these plays, again, we're feeling his activity. This is a play, he's lined up against the guard. I'm smelling a double team coming. But no, he gets that one-on-one and he does his job, right? It looks like they were in a very wide alignment. So his job at this point is just to create that one-on-one matchup with him and this tackle. And he does that well. He takes up two blockers. And he's kind of like the cleanup man, right? That's just his job in that play. We see him here. A lot of people think he's going to play the 5 technique in the league. I think he's going to be better suited right there in front of that guard. And in these type of situations, right, where he's hitting some type of stunt, he's using his quickness to take up blockers, to free up, his teammates. And I think that's going to be more so the role we see him play in Atlanta, is doing things just like this, taking up blockers, just creating opportunities for his teammates. Again, it's another play where he was able to use his hands, get that extension, and as soon as he sees the play break to his side, he makes his move. And that's one thing we see out of him a lot. We see that extension, but we also see his head up and eyes towards the ball for him to, make the best play possible. So that was a good play. And again, this is where I think he fits best, in stunts, lined up in front of guards. One thing's for sure is, with him having an 80-inch wingspan, with him having a 6'8" wingspan, he's going to have longer arms than a lot of the guards in the NFL. So I think that's his advantage, right, is to be able to use his length, use his quickness against guards. And I think this is where he can make some money. See him back here on the edge. Like he set the edge well. And this will be interesting to see. First of all, Washington put a wide receiver. Who's that? Is that Polk? They put a wide receiver on Brandon Dorlus. So he did what he was supposed to do. If you can't set the edge against a wide receiver, what are you doing, right? So I think that was just a bad play design, bad play call. They didn't understand where Brandon Dorlus was. Let's see. The formation, questionable. But yeah, he took advantage, set the edge, made the running back cut inside. That's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. Again, he's here on the edge, in a wide alignment. This is essentially that 5 technique. He's outside of the tackle. He's wide. He's going to have his one-on-one. Let's see how he reacts to this opportunity. One thing's for sure, that's not going to cut it in the league, but rest assured, I doubt we're going to feature him in that role. Maybe on early rundowns, they'll find creative ways to get him in there to set that edge. He could be somewhat like Lorenzo Carter, but I don't like that. You see him setting the edge again. And again, this is what scares me when we're talking about his position. To me, I think he'll fit better as a situational pass rusher, a situational defensive tackle that comes in that gets matched up against guards. Um, I don't think this is the role for him, at least not year one, setting this edge because of his lack of athleticism. So as we see here, I mean, he knows his role. I mean, this is a strong side of the offense. You know, you're expecting them to run this way with the alignment. The ball comes your way. He kind of gets caught peeking inside. And I think this is just what scares me, man. NFL players, these NFL running backs are so explosive. These coaches, they're designing these type of run plays now. And I worry that he won't be disciplined enough to set the edge. And even in times when, you know, the tackles do win, because, you know, these tackles are getting paid to block, you know, he doesn't have the athleticism to truly set that edge, flip his hips around, and even make this tackle. Because as we see there, he had no real explosion, gave up a touchdown. But this is what we like to see right here. One-on-one against a guard. That's just beautiful. This is just beautiful. I mean, do I have to say much? We're going back to the length. We're going back to his use of the hands, man. That's one thing's for sure is he's definitely been well coached. You could tell that he's been well coached. He's been putting in the work, and he knows his advantages. And his advantages again is his length. You see it again one-on-one versus his guard. I'm sure they're watching the film. Every time you come back to the sideline, they saying, okay, this right guard cannot stop you, bro. We're going to keep you lined up on him, eat him up. And that's exactly what he did on this play. It's just a good sack, man. It's probably the best play we've seen from him so far. and you could tell he was hyped because he came back one of the next plays and he's starting to hit a spin move, man. He pressed the B button. You know, he was feeling good. He was excited because now all of a sudden he doing spin moves. But that's what you like to see, man. You like to see guys, man, that's just, you know, they're ready to play, man. They're ready to play. They're going to mix it up. That was a quick screen. He showed a little ability to get skinny. You know, he tried to sneak in between those two guards. That was a good play again when he used his hands, and he kind of used his quickness to force that pass. That was just a good little combination of everything. And I think this will be the interesting thing about his development is what position do they want him to play? Because if they want him to be a defensive tackle, a 3-down lineman, or even a 3rd-down specialist, I think he can add another, 15 pounds? Add some weight, get stronger, and then now, you know, you looking a lot like Grady Jarrett. As we see, man, on that play, he stayed low. His pad level was good. I think that is one of his weaknesses, is with him being 6'3", he can get caught standing up. And you see that more so with double teams. When he gets double teams, he just stands up. But as we see here, man, it looks like he was being held. He got low. He drove back. I hope he got a holding call on that play. As we saw there, see, that was exactly what we're talking about with the double teams. Stood up, you know, you stand straight up, you peeking over the counter, it's easy to push you back. Then that was another play. Maybe this is due to fatigue, but I would have liked him to be lower. I mean, you see this guy and you see him. Granted, they're both not really getting any type of push. The offensive line created a beautiful pocket for Michael Penix, but this is when you like to see him get lower. Um, but I think this may be a result of fatigue because that's just sorry. But again, I think that's what we look at when we're looking at his versatility. I mean, he can go out there on the edge depending on what you're trying to do. Like, what is your scheme? What is your goal? Um, and again, that goes back into what do they want him to be, right? Does he need to put on 15 pounds to play defensive tackle? Or does he need to lose 15 pounds so he can truly be, um, a bigger edge player? Because in the 3-4, you don't have to be, this lean, athletic defensive end, this edge player. But you do want to be able to take on double teams. You want to be able to take up blocks because, part of your job is to take on blockers to free up your linebackers. That's why you have that extra linebacker. And I just feel like, it's troublesome when teams could double team you initially and then someone can disengage and get to the next level. That can't happen. We need you to play and compete against double teams. We need you to stay low. We need you to absorb those blockers so we can let Troy Anderson, Nate Lemon, Caden Ellis fly around. Um, so again, it'll be interesting to see what position they want him to play. I don't think it's going to be this versatile defensive lineman um, in the NFL. You know, that's one of his favorite moves. The push and pull. Got him back lined inside. Nice little stunt. You see that a lot. That was a play. He just wanted it more. Got a good jump. Made a great play. I mean, it looks like they had a tight end on him. I mean, what kind of play is this? Yeah, that's just a great play from him. Wait a second. Did they pull the right guard and the right tackle? They ran down the 1 yard line? What in the world? Help me out. If you're watching this, you made it this far. Have y'all seen that before? They ran like a counter or a trap. I don't know what that could be when you pull both of them like that on the 1 yard line. And you run right into. Someone wasn't right about that play, but, you know, either way, the defense made a play and tackled him behind the line of scrimmage because he shouldn't have got that much. But, there's definitely a lot to like, when we're looking at Brandon Dorlus. I do think the biggest reason why he fell to the fourth round is just because he doesn't have a true position, man. And luckily for his situation, luckily for the Falcons, we're not going to ask him to have a lot of responsibilities year one. He'll be able to fit into a rotation. He'll be able to learn from Grady Jarrett, David Amayada. He'll be able to just find out, what he can do to help this team versus being asked to be a 3-down lineman, the day he enters the league. So I'm excited to, keep an eye on his development. I think he'll be an interesting player. I'm not sold on him being um, I'm not sold on him being a great player. I know a lot of people were excited about this pick, and a lot of people were questioning, how he fell to the fourth round. A lot of people had him as a day 2 pick, whether that was, somewhere in the second round or somewhere at the end of the third round. But when he fell to the Falcons at the fourth, a lot of people were surprised. But when you watch his tape, it's kind of like, where is he going to play? What is he going to do? But I'm excited because, again, he has room to grow and he's in a situation where he can grow. So I'm excited about this player. Um, I'm excited about this defensive line rotation. And I'm excited for the next player. So y'all let me know who y'all think we should do next. I'm thinking Clark Phillips. I'm pretty confident he's going to be in the queue. He's going to be coming up soon. But yeah, y'all let me know. Definitely want to keep Atlanta sports related. But I'm thinking Clark Phillips, maybe even Kyle Pitts. Maybe we go look at the Rams offense, how they were able to, feature their tight ends. We go look at the Vikings offense and see how Kirk Cousins has connected with his tight ends. Maybe. Y'all let me know in the chat, who we should do next. Either way, I appreciate you all making it this far. Appreciate you all support on the last video. The last video got me up to 200 subscribers. So I appreciate that because y'all helped me get to 200 real quick. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, share the video, and just leave me a comment. Let me know you made it this far. And leave me a comment if you think Brandon Dorlus is going to be a good player for the Atlanta Falcons. But until next time, peace.